Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis. We're the weekly show where we explore important issues with interesting local people. My guest today is Rick Atkinson. Rick is a staff member at the Kinawea Legal Clinic. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you. Actually, I'm a paralegal.
You're a paralegal.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you're a certified paralegal, if I recall.
Licensed by the Law Society, yeah.
Excellent. All right. So this is trustworthy stuff we're getting here
That's
today.
right.
All right.
Or you can sue me.
Well, I'll have to explore that later.
Okay.
So you work at Kinawea
Yep.
Community Legal Clinic.
That's right.
What does Kinawea mean? What is that?
Kinawea is the Ojibwe word for everyone. So
Okay.
it's everyone's legal clinic.
Nice.
But you have to speak Ojibwe to know that.
Uh-huh.
It's funded by Legal Aid to provide legal advice to people, particularly people of low income. And we do what we call poverty law. And we help people with legal problems. We don't do criminal, we don't do family. That's another part of the legal aid system. But the clinics, we do what we call administrative law, which is most of it is involving assisting people with their incomes and the programs, like the government programs that they might be looking to for financial support. And we do a lot of landlord and tenant matters,
Okay.
a lot of tenancy issues.
And you're located here in Thunder Bay.
Yep, at 86 South Cumberland Street, corner of Cumberland and Wilson.
And if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what would they do?
They could call our office, 344-2478, or they could come to the office and book an appointment. We do intake on new matters from, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's somebody there prepared to look at new matters each of those days.
Well, great. All right, so what did you want to talk about today? We're looking at retirement benefits. What's your focus?
Well, people, when we're talking about people approaching the age of 65, and
Here I am.
Me too. So we're the boomer generation, and there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
The people who have income and have resources and have financial advisors and that kind of thing, well, they're probably planning for their retirement and they're getting a lot of information. Mm-hmm. The people that we assist, people of low income, people living in poverty, don't have those kinds of resources, and they don't have anyone to talk to about how to plan for their retirement, and they have a lot of questions and anxieties about what's going to happen when you transfer from social assistance to old age security. How does all that happen? Will I be better off? Will I be worse off? All of the questions that somebody might have facing that situation.
So my first question is, retirement's changing.
Sure.
So yeah, I've grew up at age 65, you retire. Okay, and I got a package in the mail a few weeks ago saying, geez, you're going to be entitled to your Canada pension.
Yep.
Just starting to think about it. So, but they're changing the law, isn't it? That you're not allowed to retire, or you're supposed to go till now 67. What's being changed there?
Well, there are changes to almost everything, but the main change that you're referring to, the change from age 65 to 67, is particularly relating to old age security. And that's when somebody is going to be able to apply for old age security. Now, Canada Pension, which we can talk about as well, you could apply, and you still can, from age 60 on. The only difference that happens at age 65 is that your pension at age 65 is kind of the base rate. And if you retire early, between the ages of 60 and 65, your monthly amount will be reduced from that base rate. Right now it's by 0.5%, 0.5% per month that you retire early.
So every year you lose 6%,
That's right.
or
That's right.
or on the other way, if you hold off,
And then
you're
you
gonna
can
get 6%
delay
more the next year.
Exactly. You can
Okay.
delay your retirement past 65.
That's so
and
clear.
it increases your CPP.
I didn't know how it worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's either below or and then at 65 it's the base rate. But old age security, that's a whole other matter. Because old age security, unlike CPP, isn't funded out of contributions. It's funded by general revenues. And so what the current government, Mr. Harper's government, has decided is that they will change the age from 65 to 67. And that will begin, it'll affect people that are born in 1958 or later.
Okay.
And it'll begin in 2023 at the age that they start turning 65, and it'll be phased in over a 2-year period. And so it'll change probably it'll change every few months. It'll be a little bit different.
Okay, so more or less, if you're 55 or younger, you're going to be subjected to these changes. The people over 55-ish are going to be still in the present.
That's about right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
it's going to happen in about 10 years, or 9 years actually. Yeah.
Right. Okay. 2023.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a long ways in the future, but 9 years will go by fast. I guarantee that.
Boy, doesn't it fly sometimes. Yeah. So let's just look at a little bit more around the CPP. Now that stands for Canada Pension Plan. Is
That's
that it?
right. Yep.
Okay, and there's different components in the Canada Pension Plan.
Yep. There's different kinds of pensions that you can get.
All right.
The first one that people can get at any age, as long as they've worked and made contributions. If you haven't made contributions to the CPP, you can't get a pension.
How do you make contributions?
You make them from when you work. There's deductions from your payroll, and your employer makes contributions, and you make contributions.
So that's automatic.
That's right.
If you're out of work and you get your paycheck, they're going to be automatically deducted.
And your employer has to do that. That's the law.
And someone keeps track of all that money that goes in.
Yep, goes to the Canada Revenue, and they keep track of it. It's all under your social insurance number. I mean, there are a few exceptions. There are, for example, there's an exception for First Nations people who are working on reserve. They don't have to make a contribution to CPP. It's an elective process. But for most people, it's something that's done automatically. And if you've made contributions, you can make a claim for a pension. And the first kind of pension that you might look at is a disability pension, if you're suddenly not able to work anymore. Now, the test on the contribution side of that is kind of complicated. The first thing is that you have to have worked 4 out of the last 6 years.
Okay. Now this is for the disability component.
That's right.
So this is not age related.
That's right.
This
no
is really
age.
It's if you become disabled.
That's correct.
Then
and you can't work.
Here's how you qualify.
Yep. So you'd then apply for the pension, and they would look at your contributions, and contributions can be whether mostly from employment. That's the most common kind of contribution. But there are others. You can have contributions because of credit splitting. For example, if you've been in a relationship and it's ended in divorce, whether it's a legal marriage or a common law relationship, if it's ended, you can apply for credit splitting of the CPP credits that both partners acquired during the time of the relationship. They can be kind of put together and then split 50-50. Now, if somebody hasn't worked at all, they can get contributions from credit splitting.
Okay, no, just hang on to that. We're just going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and find out more about the Canada Pension Plan.
Okay.
Thanks.